All right, good afternoon, everybody. It's my privilege to host Prateek Sharma. Prateek sir is associate director at Cipla M&A. Prior to Cipla M&A team, Prateek sir has been working with uh, Goldman Sachs for about 3 to 4 years and has prior work experience with few index creators like MSCI. He is a graduate from BITS Pilani. He has done MBA from ISB. He basically is a CFA charter holder and has more than, I guess, now 12 years of work experience in the industry. So Prateek sir is here to walk us through with the aspects of how exactly, how a venture fund basically looks at opportunities and how to go about taking a look at different startup pitches, how to go about screening through ideas, and probably, he'll dwell deeper into certain aspects which will be very enlightening to people who are looking to build a career in domains of VCs and family offices. So over to you, Prateek sir. Welcome, and I guess the screen is yours.
Thank you, Shailesh. Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. I see a lot of people out here, 196 already. So I want to make this session useful for you guys. So I had a word with Shailesh before this meeting, and how I've tried to structure this session is make you understand difference between a traditional VC versus corporate VC. Then how does a VC takes an investment decision? A lot of you will be uh, going into VCs, PE, mutual fund, where you'll have to take such decision whether to invest or not. What are the factors one look at? And I've tried to like come up with few examples in the slides. Otherwise, we can have more. So I want to make this session interactive for you. So I would actually request if whenever you guys have a question, stop. Otherwise, anyway, we have a specific question and answer time towards the end. But even during my presentation, if you have any questions, stop me and then I'll be happy to answer and I'll make this interactive. So let me start. So I'm going to ask you guys question while I'm presenting. So, but yeah, let's start and jumping straight to the presentation itself. There's no title to the presentation. It should be a title, but let's jump to the main the first slide, which I was saying. So I work in a corporate VC, and this is a in a way a new concept which is coming up where corporates are trying to like build a investment arm within the corporate itself or carved it out as an AIF. AIF is an alternative investment fund. But the main difference is that in a corporate VC, there's only one LP. There's only one limited partners. Tell me, who can explain me quickly in a minute, in 30 seconds, what is an LP? Otherwise, I'll go and explain what I'm saying. What is a limited partner in any fund? Anyone? I obviously don't want to cold call. Yeah, Ali, go ahead. Go ahead. I think Ali has his hands up, right?
Hello, sir.
Ji.
Yeah, so basically, an LP is the one who makes the decision where to invest the money. He has unlimited liability in the fund, and he's the one who makes the decisions, who make the calls. And
But by the name, think about Ali. Like by the name, it's limited partner. How can a limited partner?
sorry, he has limited liability in a fund.
Yeah, and what you're saying is the GP. GP makes the decision.
Yeah.
LP is the one who's putting the money. Maybe we try Darshit if you have anything more to add.
Uh, Hello, sir. No, so I was adding the same point that LPs are the one who invest in the fund and GPs are the one who manages the money and takes investment decision.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So traditional VC, as Ali and Darshit mentioned, has multiple LPs. The two like a general partner goes around, raises a fund, and then in the next 2 3 years they start investing. Corporate VC by its definition, there's only one LP. The corporate itself is basically investing the cash sitting in corporate's balance sheet, which is being invested. Every corporate keeps making investment right? Either direct acquisition or nowadays this minority investment. Now this minority investment is being done systematically through corporate VC. The three examples which I mentioned in the bottom, there are at least 30, 40 more. So Hindustan Unilever, HUL, has their Unilever ventures. If you've heard of firms like Plum, they've invested. Amazon is so active. Amazon keep on investing. And before even like I go into more differentiation, the similarity is that you take bets on a minority position. The investment process is exactly the same. You are taking a bet in a company, in a founder, by taking minority investment. You want the founder to keep on running the fund. Running the firm. You are a minority investor. You have lot of rights. You either are a board observer, you have board seat, there are a bunch of other rights you have, but you want that promoter to run this firm. Why is then the corporate investing? Corporate is investing because they feel like they want to protect themselves for disruption which are coming in future. If let's say a firm like BlackBerry has invested in a firm like Apple or Samsung, where they were coming up with these smartphones, um, with you don't need a stylus, your finger is your stylus. If Nokia has done it, Nokia would have been way more relevant right now. At one point of time, Nokia had substantial market share in terms of phone, but new firms with new technology just came up and took them over. So this is one way, like there's continuous innovation happening within the corporate. But this is through these investments, these corporates are investing in preparing themselves. So they're basically, yeah, preparing themselves by uh, taking a stake in a future innovation. Got it? But there's only one LP. Since there's only one LP, there's no and there's no life cycle of the fund. You don't have to return the money. A traditional VC or a PE, they have to return the money back to the LP after 4-5 years. Generally, it's 5 years, sometimes it's 7, sometimes even less. But most of the time, it's more than 5 years only. Out here, there's nothing like that. So, because there's no life cycle of the fund, what changes is that my time horizon to invest and get the value out of the investment is actually very large. Are you getting the point? Like, I don't have to wait just for 5 years for the value to get derived from the investment. The second difference coming from the same point is that my value is not just financial returns. Financial returns is an important part, but a corporate like Unilever, corporate like my employer or Amazon or Merck or Novo Nordisk or so many, they are not investing to generate returns. Stockholders like you have not bought Amazon's shares or HUL shares so that they invest money. That's not the main motive. So the main motive and the biggest difference is that my end game is very different. It is more or less acquisition. If you're taking a bet in a company, uh, it's mostly a strategic bet that in some way some innovation is helping your existing business. I'll come to specific examples very soon. But let's say this particular like Finacle, if Finacle wants to acquire, let's say a new edtech, not acquire and invest. They want to invest in a new edtech firm, and they're building like an interactive platform, way more interactive than Zoom. I can basically just see 4 faces right now. Whether I actually would love to see all 100 faces in some way by interaction. So someone has developed a very innovative solution to make this education experience better. Maybe they invest and they want that firm to keep building, and 2, 3, 4 years, when they see that the product is perfect, they acquire it. The end game is not exits. Exits is hardly an end game ever. But in traditional VC, that's the only exit. That's the only end game, because you have to return back that money with an IRR of at least 15%, but majority 20%. If you're not doing that, then as a fund, you've failed. You are not raising another fund. But here the end game is more strategic, more corporate, less financial. Clear? So because you guys are now in like 2-3 years, be ready for the corporate world. You'll see a lot of new corporate VCs coming up, and now you can understand how they are different. They're making those same bets. As an analyst, as an associate, you will have to evaluate the company, but the evaluation is more strategic. You need to understand your company's future goals. Are those future goals being met by this new investment? And if let's say Finacle wants to build this, want to have this innovative education platform, but they're themselves developing it and it's going really well, you will not even do this inorganic investment, right? Because organically you are in building this. So a corporate VC is a very important part of the corporate strategy team of any corporate. Clear? One more difference I want to add, like every investor, PE, VC, not every, like majority, especially the lead, wants to add value. And good investors actually, like entrepreneurs are attracted to good investors because they are not just financial investor. They open the doors of entrepreneurs to lot other opportunities, like through the network, they connect them to other CEOs. So that's the value addition an investor is doing out here, because you are making an investment as a corporate VC, keeping in mind as a strategic outlook, your value addition is way higher. Like if Unilever with such great marketing knowledge, with such great distribution infrastructure which they have built, and also the commercial infra, their sales force, if there's a new upcoming face cream, a good brand, a new formulation, they would expect their reason to go to Unilever is way beyond money. Money a lot of people can provide, but Unilever can provide them that marketing knowledge and how to market, where to market. They can provide that distribution. I mean, the country is vast and very, very difficult. Say, very difficult to crack. Like, but you can find one pouch of, let's say, Unilever shampoos in a small village in Bihar to big cities like tier 2 cities and big cities like Bombay across, right? The distribution channel. So the value addition is humongous. And that is why a lot of entrepreneurs are attracted towards us, because like I work in healthcare firm, a lot of healthcare companies, a key influencer for product is doctors. But can they randomly enter 10,000 doctors cabin? No, right? This access is very precious. But my firm has built this equity, so we can, if we like the product and it's meeting our strategic viewpoint, the quality of product is good, through our distribution channel, through our commercial infra, we provide them the doctor reach. So then that's why a lot of entrepreneurs are attracted towards corporate VCs. So I hope, like with this slide, you got an idea difference between a traditional VC as well as a corporate VC. Any questions before I move forward? Anyone? Because you will be sitting at, like India now, if has handful of 20-30, around 10 to 20 corporate VCs. By the time you get to the corporate, when you start your corporate life, there'll be many. So this will be a great avenue where you guys can work. I see no questions, so let me move.
Darshit, you can go ahead with the question. I think Darshit has a question, sir.
So is there any trend from entrepreneurs' side that they prefer corporate VC over traditional VCs?
So look, I told you the reason why they prefer corporate VCs. That's the
Yes.
value addition part. But the same value addition, Darshit and others have the opposite side. A lot of entrepreneurs want to run their business by themselves. Then, the obviously also they want to keep scaling up. They don't want to get acquired by someone. Like what if Facebook has sold itself to Google when they were asked. Facebook would have been very, like, now they've scaled up. So that's the opposite side. I've told you what is attractive for a new entrepreneur. But if, let's say, someone is late stage startup, they've already cracked the business. The business case is sorted. Their product is well known, product is good quality, and now people are accepting it. They might not come to a corporate VC because they just want financial capital to scale up even if they need. Otherwise, a late stage company should ideally start building on their own accrued cash flows and invest that. But if, let's say, a lot of Indian companies still need it, then maybe there is a portion, there are some founders who are averse to talking to a strategic. Also, there can be multiple financial players in one cap table. That's always there, right? Like VC1, VC2, VC3 are always there. Very, like, in very rare circumstances will there be two corporates sitting on the cap table, because when corporate comes, they take these commercial rights. I'm investing in you, but I'm going to commercialize your product in this particular geography. They've already taken some commercial rights, which in a way is the value addition is itself. So then if someone has already given away their commercial right, what's there for a corporate, right? So there are pros and cons, but now since this entire ecosystem is being built, entrepreneurs are also getting to know that this is also an avenue where they can raise their risk capital. And let's say you've made something very, very niche, especially in the industry I am, right? Healthcare is a very niche where a lot of the solutions are not direct to consumer and they're not easy to understand. They're very science focused. Let's say someone is building an oncology services to provide, let's say, chemotherapy to a lot of people, or someone more niche. Someone is building a new molecule, developing a new molecule for a targeted therapy for cancer. How many generic VCs will be able to understand this? Very few. Actually, nothing. That this kind of very niche product either goes to a sector specific VC or to a corporate, because they start as a as an associate and understanding these startups. I can't expect, like, no one can expect me to understand fintech, this, everything. I build an expertise in a particular sector. So that's where that's an additional advantage, that if corporates, because by the nature of their business, they have built an expertise in their business, they can understand your solutions way better than a generic VC. So that's a point on the what's attractive in a corporate VC. Clear?
Understood, sir. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Thanks.
there are some positives, there are some negatives. So just a second. I think this is the crux of the conversation. Let's spend some good time out here. And this is where I want your thoughts. I want to see how you guys are thinking. So whenever someone is building a new fund or coming up with a charter for a corporate VC, they think about, like, what is, like, how are we gonna make the decisions? There should be some charter, some obviously it can't be that minute because every deal is a new deal, but broadly you should be aligned that I'll be looking over a particular area, a particular sector. I'll be making my check sizes from this to that. So one is a focus area, that I am a healthcare VC, granted, but within healthcare there are at least 20, 30 subdomains, way more, 100 subdomains. How are you approaching when you are making a decision? How are you approaching? Like, are you making a macro view that, look, it's a COVID kind of situation, people don't have access to doctors directly, so people will that's why this telemedicines have come up, and right now it's a very attractive proposition that I build a platform to connect a doctor sitting at his home to a patient sitting in a remote area. And in a country like India, where the doctor-patient ratio is very skewed up, this technology might help bridge that gap. And because of this behavioral change in the first 2 years, I'm expecting during the COVID year, I expect that this similar behavioral change will continue, and even the future years, people will keep approaching doctors via telemedicine, and I'm investing. That's the top-down view. I've taken a macro approach that in this subdomain I find attractive. And then I start looking at like what all options are there in telemedicine. But I first build a macro view. You're getting a point, right? Like right now, one of the main things we do when we, like four of us, we sit, we build thesis that given the current macro situation, given current issues India has, what solution category will become attractive. It might happen, and a lot of time it happens that after you build a macro view, after doing so much research, like you start with 5 theses, and eventually you make view on positive view on one, 4 got rejected for XYZ reason. That you have to build a view, and as an analyst, that'll be an important stuff to do that. This I don't think will work. Like I told you, like for this telemedicine example, let's say someone could have said, look, this is just a short-time phenomena. It will not last beyond the moment the world opens up. The telemedicine will not last because going to a doctor is like you can't get properly diagnosed without being in the vicinity of doctors. And telemedicines are okay for regular checkup, but for the first time checkup for an acute thing, or even for a chronic thing, the first time checkup will always be by like in person. So the business case, the projection which they've done should be slashed by like 75%. And uh, and basically this is what has happened right now. Like telemedicine, hardly anything is survived. Whoever has survived is kind of little bit struggling, because the moment the world has opened up, people have forgotten that at one point in time the world was even closed. Now people go to the doctors. So you build these micro theses, and then you start looking at companies. Is there a good investable company in when I build this thesis? Like India will have another example. India is growing very old very quickly. We are still a young country, but by 2030, the number of people above 55 in the 55 to 75 range would be X, and that X is twice what the number is right now. So people will suffer with the need for knee replacement will be very high. How many times have you heard the old people in your household of knee pains? Arthritis, osteoarthritis is a very big issue, and gradually, slowly, like the need of knee transplant will grow. And it is being supported by the government policies. Government has now put a price cap that beyond which no one can sell that. So a lot of foreign companies are not that interested in India anymore. So an Indian player can build up, and then you start looking at unit economics and see even with the price cap, you can build a decent scalable model. So you build up thesis. You look, knee, this is knee implant, ortho implants are an attractive area. You build a thesis. Then you start looking at firms, and you don't find a single investable firm. That happens all the time. And it's a long period, like you keep on talking to the firm. But first you build a top-down approach. The other is bottoms up. This is more reactive, where like a company who's raising funds comes to you via a banker who's running the process, say that, look, this company is in healthcare, but again, as I said, there are 100 subdomains of healthcare. This in this particular time, you don't have a top-down view, you haven't made a top-down view. But company by its own looks very attractive. Whatever I don't want to now take examples because then it will become a company specific, and I want to take names here. But let's say a Google kind of company comes to you in 2000 and you figure that, look, I don't understand this search business right now, but seems like they're solving an interesting problem, and they also don't have a lot of competitor. Even if they have a lot of competitors, they are well ahead of competitors in terms of their scale, in terms of their quality of product. So you build a bottoms up view on a particular company. Most of the time what happens is a hybrid. You can't have a detailed top down, and even if you have a top down, you don't find investable companies. You can't be just reactive. You build a top down. So mostly is a hybrid, but at least one top down, that we will not look at fintech. We will only look at health tech, at least healthcare, health tech, med tech. That one should have. So, but similarly, like even in equity investing, the similar thing happens. Either you have a macro top-down view or you do a bottoms up. Okay, so yeah, so now since we have already, like now we have a macro view, we are evaluating 2-3 companies in that macro, in that particular theme. The least basic thing a VC will invest, because these are very early stage companies. Some are pre-revenue, some are like the beginning of Series A, Series B. You expect that at least the company should have ability to grow 5x in 5 years. At least. This is nothing like this is the actual number should be way higher. So how do you evaluate it? So you need to and every new company which is there is trying to give their product and services to solve a problem. That problem might have existing solution, or that solution could be like this is the first time someone is solving that problem. But you need to understand how and make a educated guess. How big is the market this company is dealing in? So let's say this knee replacement. If I have to ask one of you, like, can you help me come up with the size of the market? Can like someone like give me few ideas? How can I like start building that? Because this answer Google will not give. There'll be few market reports here and there, but most of the time there won't be any market reports. You need to take that judgment call yourself. And a lot of time these consultants, big McKinsey, BCG, Bains, or big fours will have their own reports that look, telecom market is this much, growing at this much rate, but you have to vet the assumption. So let's think out loud, right? What is the TAM, target addressable market? What is the entire market size of the knee replacement this market in India? Can someone give me a few data points which I need to collect to understand how can I calculate the TAM? And take random guesses. Like this is an iterative process. Like even when we start doing it, 20 things we come up, 5 are wrong. Okay, yeah, I see a few hands. Please, yeah, start telling me one by one. Madhav, Aniket, Darshit, tell me your ideas. How do if I have to calculate the target addressable market of knee replacement, how will I go about it? Go ahead, Madhav.
Sir, actually, we'll be able to find the population data, right? Like we get the population survey data. So about 60 people, most of those, we can take them in our TAM, because those would be needing surgeries.
So you're saying take the latest census data. Latest census have happened in India in 2011, but you can extrapolate it, come up with what will be the current population size in India, and bracket that number into different age category. That data is also available in census. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes,
so
sir.
once we have that, look, these are the number of people who are less than 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30. Tell me more, right? This data is not the TAM. What is the the number is in INR, right? कितना बड़ा, कितने करोड़ का है वो number. So that's a good starting point. But how do I build over this?
Sir, then we'll also have to filter it out, right? Like we'll have to filter out like how many, like we'll also take players into account, like those, like we'll also get data about how many people are regularly engaged in sports activity, because there is a chance of getting a knee injury there too. So we'll there
So
take
let's
that
say
people account
I
into
tell you
population.
that majority of the knee replacement happens not because of injuries, like not because of acute injuries, ki kisi ka, like someone had a car accident, but 95% are old age related issue, that it is being used continuously and people have not taken care of themselves, they became overweight, so the entire body weight is on me. So 95 was basis age related issues, and 5% is why. Again, this is something, this is a data point which I need to first figure out, Madhav, right? You jumped on the injury side, but how many are because of injury? How many are, so I'm telling you this, only 5% is injury, and 95%, and I to be honest, I don't know, I'm just thinking like I'm building a framework without having actual data, but someone need to find out how many are from injury, how many are from age related. Go ahead.
Sir, we
And
can fill. Okay,
Go
madam.
ahead. Whoever.
sorry, Aniket, you can continue. Like I just wanted to tell, to convert those number into INR, we can find the average knee replacement cost into different geographies. Like in India, like different hospitals have different costs. So like there would be an average knee replacement cost, and we can multiply those number.
So, okay, so your first and last steps are more or less correct, but there are a bunch of data points you've skipped, Madhav. If you start building it, let's say you have everyone, you got the data that you need to first understand how many are for age related. Let's say 90% is age related, but at what age this conversion start happening? I start doing primary research and go and talk to doctors and figure out that 45 to 50%, only 5% of people go through this. 55 to 65, this 5% suddenly becomes 20%. At 21/5 of the people in this age range goes over the knee surgery. And then after 75, this again gets dropped because people don't, when they're so old, they don't want to get into an invasive surgery because someone has to open up their entire knee, put a metal, right? So that again gets dropped down to 7-10%. So you've skipped a lot of part, but these are the data points. You have to build a funnel, come up with you started very correctly, everyone, that come up with a population data by age. Figure out how many are from injuries, how many are from age-related issue within age. You have to do research, read about it, talk to at least 10 doctors, in what age areas are these, and everyone will give different numbers. And if you average it out, remove the outliers. If a doctor say, mere paas to 45 to 50, half of my clientele is in 45 to 50. Everyone else is saying 5%. This guy is saying 50%. And you remove that outlier because of some reason this is happening. So this is how you build a target addressable market, build a thesis that because of which particular variable will this market grow quickly. The market itself is dormant, then it's become very questionable. Why are you investing? Then you're saying that the market is dominant, it's not growing, but this particular firm will take away market share from everyone else. Only then the company can grow, right? Are you getting my point? So first you need to understand a target addressable market, then make a thesis why this will grow. So in this particular example, can someone tell me why is this market attractive? Go ahead, Hardik.
Sir, as the income of households and people are increasing, the knee replacement surgery that has been taking place has a huge cost. So, if the people income, disposable income has not been increasing, or the insurance amount they are spending to the surgery places, if that is not increasing, the people would not come and take surgeries, even if they have problems with
Absolutely.
knee.
So Hardik, what variable are you changing is that number of the conversion, this maybe 55 to 65 right now is 20%, will become 25%, 5% people who are not doing it, living through pain because they can't afford it, will start affording it. Brilliant point. Anyone else? Shaurot, Aniket?
So,
So
like you only mentioned that by 2030, the older people
Exactly. We
population
are
will
a
grow
aging
double.
country. Absolutely.
So the amount of people
The
that
number of people.
need to have
Yeah,
knee replacement will also double in this
absolutely.
lifespan, and moreover, the technology can also technology will also be upgraded to that level that we can cut down cost or make it viable for
So you
low
made two
income
points.
people.
One, the pie is increasing, and maybe the cost of
Knee
knee
replacement.
replacement itself will go down. But I'm saying it's already the government has put a cap on the price, so it's 60,000 rupees basically. So people basically then if there's a cap, people will market it at that only, and unfortunately that's how economics works, that people since don't have incentive now to innovate because there's a price capping, the innovation will now throttle. That's how economics works. That's why all these subsidies by a lot of economists says is not healthy. But yeah, good point. So Ali, Madhav, if you have any point before we move ahead.
yeah. So, sir, I'd like to add some points, some negative points, I would say. So basically, firstly, I have to talk to doctors and figure out what is the average ticket size of not a telemedicine, but an orthodox way of solving knee problems. And then I have to also figure it out in three categories. That is, how many people use insurance policies to cover that amount? How many people are coming under the Prime Minister Yojanas and everything which cover the cost, and how many people are paying by cash? So we can segment it in three ways as well.
Very good, Ali. You're going way deeper, but I get. But in this particular situation, is a surgery, and even in so there's no telemedicine. Telemedicine, you can't do surgery, right? Surgery happens in a and since this Ayushman Bharat already has a 60,000 cap, and but good thought process that how many are people are paying out of pocket, how many are insurance, maybe that will grow. So we have limited time, so quickly Afan and Madhav, because I want to go to other points as well.
Hello, sir. I had a question.
Ji.
Wouldn't it be more feasible if you go for more convergent patterns, like how knee surgery worked in other countries? For example, if I were to this VC corporate thing would be done in airlines, then it would be not feasible by first place. By looking at other countries, I would have already known that this thing doesn't work anywhere.
Absolutely. So look, you have to build a thesis. I'm building a framework. So you definitely need to see what has happened in other countries. China is a very good example. They've grown of like us. You can make those comparison,
Yes.
and like this data point eventually, which you will add in your thesis, that how fast is this the country aging, how many people will come up the curve from lower middle class to upper middle class, where they can start spending more money. That comparison you should definitely see from others, but it's a thesis because no one can predict the future. Whatever you guys are doing is making a thesis for the future. You first understood the TAM, then you make changes in the key 2 3 variables to project the future. But you are coming up with a target addressable market. Okay, I don't see any more hands. So first you come up with a target addressable market, then understand the how, are you guys aware of this TAM, SAM, SOM, right? Like,
So
okay, it's a
they
market.
haven't yet been taught the basics around the same, but I think
So
some of them
basically,
know who are
हाँ,
seniors.
बेसिकली कितना बड़ा मार्केट है, आप उसमें से कौन से, अब लेट्स से टारगेट एड्रेसेबल मार्केट फॉर नीड्स इज कमिंग आउट टू बी 100 rupees. It's all over India. But let's say in knee surgery, there are 3 kind of knees. Cobalt की हो सकती है, platinum की हो सकती है, iron की हो सकती है. Absolutely कचरा बोल रहा हूँ मैं, but you get the 3 idea. So, and I am only dealing in cobalt. I'm not dealing in platinum. So my SAM is only the cobalt wala, and usme se how much can I, and it's not like that every cobalt chromium knee I'll take. I can realistically take 30-40% of the market. That becomes my SOM. So all these you have to come up in your, like, this is your thesis. You have to talk to the owner, the founder will obviously paint a very rosy picture that my TAM is so big. ये इतना तेजी से बढ़ेगा. Now you have to do your research, and you are a smart analyst. You are well aware of what's happening, and you come up with your own thesis, and you need to talk to a lot of, my work involves a lot of primary research. I have to identify who are the key stakeholders and I talk to them. If the key stakeholder is the hospital, I talk to the hospital. The key stakeholder is the orthopedic surgeon, I talk to them, right? In any industry, there are regulators, I talk to regulators. So I identifying the key stakeholders, talking to them to come up with the key, what will be a top line. What we are doing is coming up with the entire market and funneling it down to is ये company का realistically कितना top line हो सकता है, and you can make 2 or 3 scenarios. This is optimistic scenario, this is a base scenario. But before we jump on to entire revenue and all that, you understand कि कितना बड़ा इनका the TAM is, but how good is the product or services versus the others versus the status quo, right? Someone can come up with a huge, nice, and I have an example for this particular thing itself. This is where you need to yourself test the product, go give demos and hear feedback from the primary users. This is a very important part of any VC. We talk to a lot of doctors and take their views. We talk to a lot of, let's say, pharmacy end users and take their views. And these are the views which trickle down. And someone said, I think Afan was there. Then you see that, look, in India, we have the luxury that we are slightly behind the West. We can already see that, look, this was launched in West in 5 years, and what it has, this particular solution, how has that grown in Western countries? Maybe there's a new version of this product or service already there. So you can skip it altogether. This is what I'm saying. Who are the key stakeholders? Who will be using it? There are a lot of products which are directly to the customer, D2C or B2C. Then you go and talk to the wide consumer base you have. There's few, especially in healthcare, there's hardly any direct to consumer product. They're B2B2C. In between, there are hospitals, there are other pharma firms or doctors. So you need to talk to them, understand that, look, this is the white space this new solution is trying to fill. Is this first problem worth solving? That will give you an idea of TAM. If this worth solving, is how they are trying to solve, is it good? If you want new, let's say, headphones, there are like 20 companies at different price point, but at every price point, everyone has their own value points, right? So you evaluate vis-a-vis what target segment you are trying to solve. So these are the questions which we ask, that how good is the product, and you have to not only ask, like, experience it yourself. Then finally, yeah, this which a lot of people miss is unit economics. Is it scalable? Like, there are a lot of good solutions available, but they are not, they can't grow in India, because at the price point they can actually be launched, they will be 1 crore people who will be able to take it when the overall population is 130, 140 crores. So you have to build a unit economics, that is it a scalable product to sell one, how much I do need to burn. To sell one, you to understand what price point can you sell this, and at what is that particular price point, how many, like how big is your consumer base who can eventually take it. To capture that consumer base, what is your CAC, what is your consumer acquisition cost, right? Only then you can, like, eventually think of a company becoming profitable. Otherwise, they'll keep burning money. There'll be no inflection point where the company can become profitable. So coming up with the unit economics, and again, this is where the founder will paint a very rosy picture, but you have to use your brain, talk to people and understand. Sorry. You need to understand that is the unit economics which is being presented to you, is it even sustainable? Then any investment in a firm by a VC is not only an investment in the product or service. Actually, it's actually very little to has to do with product or service. It all has to do with founders. And anyone can have ideas, but execution trump ideas. Does that founder even have the capability to execute it? I can have like million ideas, but do I have experience? Do I have the capabilities to actually execute those ideas? So for that, you see how much experience that founder has, how much, what's the team of that founder? Does the team has like smart people who can execute, and like past wins always help. Then the second point, which unfortunately incorrectly came first, integrity actually trumps everything, even execution, even ideas. If there's a great guy, there are few examples again because this is being recorded. I can't name, but there's an IIT grad who's built a housing company. He funneled money. Then again, he started another real estate company. A big VC invested in them. That also got ruined. There are a lot of founders in India, unfortunately, across the world, not only India, who take out money illegally. So integrity trumps everything. And that's when you talk to people, do some background checks. But as a VC, you're investing in a founder. A lot of you will become entrepreneurs. Like Shailesh, this is a entrepreneurial venture for him. So a lot of you, so remember that people are putting money in you. They're also putting money in your ideas, but they're mostly putting money in you. Then as a VC, you also like once you reach a certain scale, you need to understand how are you, like I can't just keep putting money in one kind of, like if I put money in medical devices, I can't keep putting medical devices. I can't have like 4 competitive companies in my cap table, right? Doesn't make any sense. So how many for my fund, how many companies I want, different types, how do I engage with them? Because you can't have like 20 companies sitting in your portfolio. You can't add value in any of them. There are companies, there are VCs like that. That's spray and pray kind of philosophy. But corporate VCs are not like that, because we want to be very much engaged with the company, help them scale up. So we don't invest in 20 companies. Right now, I have portfolio of 5 companies. So depending on your engagement, you have the number of investment, because that value addition takes a majority of the time. The first few years of your fund is when you're deploying money. After that, you're actually managing the portfolio. Quickly on the investment process, this is very standard across even traditional. Whenever you talk to any traditional VC guy, they'll have the same thing. Sourcing is either via direct approach of the founder, via bankers running but in very early stage, there are no bankers because there's hardly any money to be made. So sourcing via bankers happens for big deals or Series C, Series B, Series CD kind of investment. Before that is either a direct approach by them or by you. When you have built a top-down macro view, then you start reaching out to all the companies in that particular view. I talked about these 2 points were basically evaluation. Execution will take a different 1 hour altogether. Execution is how you structure the deal, how you and there are nuances out here, but I don't want to go that side. How do you want to give a convertible note? Do you want to take an equity? Do you want to take convertible CCPS, compulsory convertible preference shares? There are various ways you have to execute that deal. No one puts all their money in one go. How we do it is whatever is the current requirement we put in first tranche, and there are then milestone, thought after milestone. Let's say this knee example, let's keep carrying that on. The company is building a new product portfolio for which, like, they're going from cobalt to, let's say, titanium, and that's gonna add a lot new. So the milestone would be development of that new titanium knee, and that regulatory, giving the regulatory authorities, DCJ, CDSCO in India, giving them the approval. Then getting 50 customer, getting 100 customer. So you come up with milestones, talk to the company. They also understand it's a risk capital which someone else is putting in them. So till the time they don't perform, they will not get more money. So that's on the execution. I don't want to go here. And this value creation is when you work with them, provide them the scale, what they're trying to do, and end game is either an exit for traditional VC on acquisition for us. So I have 10 minutes, and after that, I also want to open for questions. What's happening? Just a second. I have just 2-3 examples. Let's try and go through it. This is one company I have. I want you guys, your thoughts. How will you evaluate it? Whether you will invest it in this or not. So the company is founded by a very smart founder, Stanford person, at the age of 23. That person have multiple patents on drug delivery. Her education is on the biotech. Very, very smart founder. The problem she's trying to solve is on coming up with a point of care blood testing device. Correct. So what's right now happens is that if you have to do a test, let's say your doctor has asked you to do a test to figure out whether you have dengue, malaria, chikungunya, whatever, because the treatment protocol for every disease is very, very different. So you go to a lab, give your venous blood, like a phlebo takes blood from your veins, that goes for testing, and the results come after 24-48 hours. And those 24-48 hours, you are in fever. So it's a painful process. So this company is saying, I'm going to build a small device, a device which can be of printer size, sitting at the like doctor's cabin, and just by finger prick बहुत लोगों के घर पे होता है जिनके type 1 diabetes होती है, just by इतना सा blood, which can be done, like I don't need a phlebo, and just by 2 drops of this blood, I can give you the result. So this is the problem. I told you about founder, the cap table. This is a series C round. पहले दो rounds पे, they are like marquee investors, all good names. Again, I don't want to take names. It's being recorded. All top marquee investor, whoever you can think, have invested in them. So let's start thinking. This is all you have. Tell me why, like last 1 hour discussion and your own thought process, what all will you, what all information do you need? Maybe ask me a question, and then should we invest it in it or not? And if, because I see that I've already like pasted a photograph with the name, if someone already knows about that company, maybe, yeah, there's a Netflix documentary or HBO documentary on this. If you already know about this, then don't. But if you don't, then Afan, you have any ideas? What more information do you need from me to evaluate this further?
So I would like to look at the if consumers are really buying this thing.
So Abhi, this is a pre-revenue company. The product is being developed. Will be ready, like now prototype has been made. But like what happens in medical device, because this is not like biscuit and all, right? You have to go through a trial, a regulator then approves it. That process is being done, and uske liye usko paisa chahiye. But a prototype is ready. This is the prototype. But consumer tak abhi pahuncha nahi hai. You have to figure out whether consumer will buy it or not. Right now, this machine doesn't exist. It exists in the lab. Needs to scale up.
Is it sustainable?
Yeah, so ये question तो काफी data points answer होगा ना. You can you ask this? I am the founder. If you are asking me sustainable, क्या sustainable machine है sir? पूरी दुनिया खरीदेगी सर इसे. What all would you like to check
price point at
Sir,
which they are making
feasibility.
and
हाँ, प्राइस पॉइंट इज वेरी गुड पॉइंट. अब मैं कह रहा हूँ कि ये लेट्स से रिडिकुलसली नंबर, ये मशीन आती है 20 लाख की, तो एक डॉक्टर और 20 लाख की बनती है, एक डॉक्टर विथ ऑल दिस मार्जिन एंड ऑल, डॉक्टर को सेल होगी 35 लाख की. इंडिया में कितने डॉक्टर खरीदेंगे? वेरी गुड पॉइंट. प्राइस पॉइंट ऑफ दिस मशीन, देन प्राइस पॉइंट ऑफ द टेस्ट. लेट्स से थायराइड चेक होता है. आई नो दैट T3 T4 TSH थायराइड के टेस्ट इंडिया में 500 से 1000 रुपए के हो जाते हैं. बट जो इसमें जो कार्ट्रेज जाएगी, लेट्स से जो इसमें टेस्ट के रिएजेंट्स यूज होंगे, उस वो रिएजेंट ही 1000 रुपए के हैं. देन इवेंचुअली तो फर्स्ट और डॉक्टर हैज टू लाइक गेट द पे बैक ऑफ दिस 35 लाख, प्लस वो रिएजेंट ही 50 वो 1000 रुपए के हैं. देन इवेंचुअल कॉस्ट डबल ट्रिपल हो जाएगी. तो is this, so a question to think about is, at what price point can I sell a test in this particular machine कि people value the premium, the ये machine is giving them a value addition, right? The value addition is कि they don't have to go to a lab, they don't have to wait for 1 or 2 days, ये आधे घंटे में रिजल्ट देगी. They don't need to get the blood. बच्चों के ऐसे ब्लड निकाल के देखा है कभी? 7-8 साल के बच्चों के जिनको मलेरिया हो रखा है, वो चिल्लाएगा, वो करने देगा नहीं. So that's the value addition. At what price point? So price point is a good starting point. I gave away few more, but let's say जिसने बोला नहीं अभी तक, रेहान and Vipul and Jash. What else?
Sir, the technology behind the working.
तो क्या पूछोगे अब? टेक्नोलॉजी बिल्कुल सही, पर उसमें क्या पूछोगे? लाइक टेक्नोलॉजी कैसे क्वेश्चन करोगे? टेक्नोलॉजी
Can I go?
प्लीज, बट लेट जैश, आई वांट टू हियर हिज थॉट प्रोसेस. आप बताएं जैश, आपने क्या सोचा इसके साथ?
How does the machine process the blood samples?
तो अगर आपको बता भी दें, मतलब आपको बेसिकली गुड ट्रैक यू आर गोइंग. दिस इज द क्रक्स ऑफ द actually the answer. I don't want let Rehan and Vipul and Narendra add on.
Sir, can I?
हाँ, go ahead Vipul.
Sir, how much time will it take to be available in the market?
बिल्कुल, तो गुड पॉइंट. अभी जब ये सीरीज 3 राउंड हो जाएगा, आई एक्सपेक्ट दैट आई नीड 1 more year for it to get commercialized. In 1 year I'll do all the scaling up of manufacturing, I'll do all the clinical trials and I'll get the regulatory approval. तो 1 साल के अंदर हो जाएगा. तो इन द बिजनेस केस अगर आप बनाएं, क्योंकि इट्स अ सस्टेनेबल कंपनी, ईयर 2 से you can start having revenue. रेहान पूछें आप.
Hello, sir.
हाँ जी.
Sir, here we can ask that accuracy rate of your disease, that how much
बिल्कुल
percent we
रेहान,
have.
बहुत अच्छा पॉइंट बोला आपने. जो टेक्नोलॉजी है, आप टेक्नोलॉजी से निकलेगा क्या, कितनी एक्यूरेट है. बिल्कुल राइट, कितनी एक्यूरेट
sir.
है और कितने टाइम में आएगा. मैं कह रहा हूँ जल्दी आ जाएगा, बट लेट्स से वो जल्दी इज 1 or 2 hours. इज 1 or 2 hours फास्ट इनफ? और डू डॉक्टर्स विल, जिस प्राइस पॉइंट पे जा रहा है, मे बी डॉक्टर्स एक्सपेक्ट 15 मिनट.
Sir, we can
मोस्ट
compare.
इंपॉर्टेंट इज एक्यूरेसी रेहान.
Yes, sir.
इफ अगर
And
एक
sir,
मेडिकल डिवाइस, go ahead, I don't know who is saying.
and sir, the new a new disease, some I think, sir, any new disease come in the market, then how can this machine detect that disease?
हाँ, so
Because
जैसे
this.
अपने कोई, वो सबके टेस्ट होते हैं, राइट? सो मे बी यू वांट टू आस्क कि व्हाट इज द टेस्ट पोर्टफोलियो?
Yes, sir.
35 लाख की मशीन ओनली डू थायराइड? Can it only do hormonal panel? Can it also do infection? Can it test for COVID, malaria, dengue, chikungunya? Can it also test, let's say, fertility panel कि gynecology के में चले जाए, thyroid ताकि gynecology में चले जाए, और it's just infection तो केवल. तो आपको ये जानना है कि इस मशीन से कितने, क्या पोर्टफोलियो है आपका.
Yes,
Second,
sir.
accuracy. I see. I'll deep dive on technology and quality accuracy a bit, but let's hear from others a little bit. Julie, आप बताएं. Do you have any input?
Yes, sir. So we can ask them what is the repair and maintenance services they are going to provide if the machine is not going to work.
जी अच्छा पॉइंट है, ये भी अच्छा पॉइंट है। तो ये इसे वो जनरली एक एनुअल मेंटेनेंस एएमसी कहते हैं कि एएमसी कितना है। तो यू नीड टू दिस एएमसी विल हेल्प यू अंडरस्टैंड कि कितने लोग इसके लेंगे, राइट? लेट्स से मशीन है only for 80,000 but AMC is 10,000 every year, who will pay? Or maybe that means that you're charging 10,000 either means you don't have good partners across India, so they're charging a lot. You have to build a good distribution channel of engineers as well. Second, or your machine needs so much repair that you expect कि 1/8 of the cost हर साल लगेगी। तो इट्स अ गुड पॉइंट, इससे आपको काफी चीजें मालूम पड़ती है। वैष्णवी आप बताएं।
I saw. So I think the customers will also look for the how sustainable the product is, because if they are paying high prices for it, they would like to get the benefit for longer period of time.
हाँ, कि कितनी लाइफ है, अगेन वो जो आप बिजनेस केस बना रहे होंगे इसमें कितनी बड़ी लाइफ है, हाउ फ्रीक्वेंट विल दिस डॉक्टर बाय। तो अब मैं आई वांट टू गो टू अदर एग्जांपल एज वेल, एंड आई हैव अ हार्ड स्टॉप एट 4:30। you guys are like very smart, सारे अच्छे पॉइंट्स हैं, ये सारे पॉइंट्स बिजनेस केस में बनाने के लिए, एंड these are the points which I would have asked the founder, and फाउंडर के बाद प्राइमरी रिसर्च के अंदर कितनी, this is a very famous company by the way, Theranos. You guys should Google Theranos, and एक HBO की डॉक्यूमेंट्री है। the founder of this company is right now in jail, and उसकी एग्जैक्ट ये प्रोफाइल है, लाइक शी वाज फ्रॉम स्टैंड में टी गायब हो गया है, स्टैनफोर्ड की थी, शी ड्रॉप्ड आउट and she was building something like this, and it was solving it's a very big white space which she was trying to fill. But the issue was she promised the sun and the moon, but उसका प्रोडक्ट की accuracy नहीं थी, the product was not ready, like the technology behind this product was not, I think was, yeah, they needed way more time, it was not accurate enough. They promised कि वो XYZ सब कुछ कर देंगे, उससे वो X भी नहीं हो रहा था। If they would have been able to deliver it, this could have been way more successful, हर जगह जानते हैं। But there's a very nice documentary on HBO on this, which shows that how VC system works. She got like 2 rounds of funding from very, very big names. She got advance orders from Walgreens, which is basically Walmart ka pharmacy. And they were like senators, ex-presidents sitting on a cap table, big VCs. But the thing is, उन्होंने सब कुछ किया, but ये नहीं हो पाया था उसके अंदर। How good is the product or services, वो establish ही नहीं हुआ कभी, the technology was not ready. And yeah, there was another point I want to make, but I forgot. But the issue out here was that everything else was checking, but they were not ready, and they raised just too much funding. They were great marketeers. They market themselves as someone who will change the world, but product तो ये डीडी आपको करना पड़ेगा, ये प्रॉपर टेक्नोलॉजी के अंदर घुसना पड़ेगा। एवरी डील के अंदर यू हैव टू बिकम एक्सपर्ट इन दैट पर्टिकुलर एरिया। लाइक I can show like there's so many reading material. Every deal I need to understand, and obviously you need to take. I can't become an expert in every deal, but to able to understand what experts are saying, because if I'm evaluating this deal, I'll go to experts in pathology industry and understand what they're trying to claim. Is it even feasible? What जो प्रोटोटाइप उनका है वो काम कर रहा है नहीं कर रहा है, किस एक्यूरेसी पे कर रहा है, उसकी स्पेसिफिसिटी, सेंसिटिविटी, एक्यूरेसी कितनी है। To understand that, I have to reach a certain level. So you have to get, that's where smart people like you are needed. You read, there's so many reading material available. So if she was saying that this is being done on microfluidic platform using something called immunochemistry, I have to go and read about all this to understand what she's trying to say. Is it feasible or not? तो ये लोगों ने वो डीडी किया नहीं स्टार्टिंग में, तो people get money on the basis of the founder itself, But at Series B, Series C level, when the prototype is ready, you need to go and check. Because eventually, sooner or later, it'll come to market. People, it might not even come to market. Regulators ही मना कर देंगे. But all very good points which you have asked, all good points. What technology is a very big point, so उसके अंदर घुसना पड़ता है. But everything else to the point. ये सब चीजें काम आती हैं. Okay, another example, then few minutes of question very quickly. Like, let's say I'm a corporate VC in a pharma firm, and I know that like pharma distribution is very tough. And I can do that distribution in big cities of India, but let's say जैसलमेर के पास 50 किलोमीटर दूर एक गांव है, और वहां मैं थोड़ी पूरा अपना सेल्स एंड मार्केटिंग इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर बना सकता हूँ. Same, if I build that, can I make that in Manipur? Can I make that in Kerala? India is a huge country. I can't have sales rep everywhere. And even if I have it, it's a stupid decision, because the sales are not enough to justify the salary of the sales rep out there. Distribution के लिए मुझे वो depot सब बनाने पड़ेंगे वो भी. So if someone is coming saying, look, in the remote areas of India, मैं अपने fixed cost पे लोगों को लूंगा, and that one guy will sell product of multiple companies. So in way, that cost of that one product is being distributed among 4-5 companies. So it's a problem worth solving, because right now suddenly होगा क्या कि आपके cost वो आप खुद अकेले कर नहीं सकते as individual pharma firm, but this particular guy is able to do. Your sales are going up, your costs are not going in the same proportion जब तुम अकेले खुद करते. And you see that founder has great experience. He understands the problem. That's why he has built this solution. He's also done this in a digital way, so that digital का सबसे important part होता है कि data बहुत अच्छा मिलता है. Then you know that you can get some good deep insight, full data कि pin code level पे आपके कौन सा product कहाँ बिक रहा है. So will you invest or not? The answer is yes, क्योंकि the solution check किया, solution अच्छा था, problem statement देखा, problem statement was worth solving, उनका solution अच्छा था, founders अच्छे थे. So we have actually invested in company like this. पर थोड़े और की metrics जो मैं आप लोगों से पूछना चाहता था, but I'm rushing right now, कि क्या करते हैं आप. देखते कि क्लाइंट बढ़े हैं क्या. पहले एक फार्मा फर्म तब 30 हो गई. उनका डॉक्टर फार्मेसी कवरेज, पहले वो केवल 20 डॉक्टर के पास जाते थे, अब 40,000 डॉक्टर के पास जाते हैं. So now they have the reach, they have built that reach, their revenue has grown, they've turned around from a negative operating expense to a positive operating expense in the same period. So all positive. Again, और भी बहुत सारे risk हैं, but yeah. So this is what I wanted to cover, like give you a very high level flavor of what happens at a corporate VC, how decisions are made, and yeah, and get you some insights कि हमारा day to day कैसा होता है, but how decisions are made and what's in our mind when we are making the decision. I'm here for 20 more minutes. I want to answer your questions about careers here, stuff like that. So the floor is all yours.
So we have a couple of questions. I think the first question is from Tisha. She is working with an investment bank. She was a pass out from our recent batch. Tisha, over to you.
Thank you, sir. Shaya. So I want to talk about when you said like
You're not audible.
There's an echo.
Am I audible?
Go ahead.
Okay, so I was asking that when you mentioned about how a company can strategically grow and you check how much they have the scalability and everything. So being in an investment banking team, I prepare decks and IMs wherein we present this whole thing of future roadmaps and future plans. So how do you guys exactly evaluate this? Do you only evaluate the current business and find synergies that are they also aligning with it or not? So just wanted to know your views on it.
So, if your question ki how we use the material which comes from a bank, the other answers is obviously we have to look at where the company is right now, but you're investing in the growth story in the future. So wherever they are now is great, but how will they grow in future is absolutely the most critical thing. And the entire what I was trying to do was like, what questions will you ask? How will you make a thesis that how whatever this guy is saying, the banker is saying, or this founder is saying, how can you match that with like by asking the right question? Some lot of time you start seeing big holes in the story because a lot of times you are not the expert. You keep asking, but through these questions you see a big hole, and the deck which comes from a banker or a founder has more or less is basically the platform on which we start thinking. They know their business the best. They've shown, look, these are the business segments we are in right now. This is the third which we want to build. In the current two which we have, these are the key metrics. This is our LTV, this is our CAC, per revenue, per customer revenue, आप ये देख लीजिए. और this is where I will grow. This is मैं geographically यहाँ expand करूँगा and ये product line में नया. But then this is a base which comes from a bank or a founder. We start thinking, but you question the assumption, and sometimes you agree with them, sometimes you don't, and that's when you decide not to invest, right? Sometimes you believe in that story. The majority of the time, your views are not aligned, and that's why. And like same investment, like when I talk to few people on our investment or something, like there have been few companies which we have outrightly discarded because we don't think they are solving a problem which can be scaled up, or their solution is up to that mark. But then suddenly we see two other VCs investing in them. So definitely how they are thinking is different from mine, right? So Tisha, जो भी हम इसमें कर रहे हैं, it's like trying to build a thesis around the growth story of that business, because you're putting money, it's a risk capital or growth capital which you're giving to them to grow, to expand, and पूरा फंडा ही वो है कि you build your story around the numbers in Excel needs to be backed with the story, and the story needs to be backed with an Excel. तो दोनों अलाइन हो रहे हैं नहीं हो रहे, क्योंकि बैंकर से जो एक्सेल आता है और स्टोरी आती है कई बार 90% अलाइन होती है, कई बार तो वो अलाइन भी नहीं होती. तो वहीं तुम पकड़ लो कि आप बोलते रहे हो कि ये होने वाला है स्टोरी में, और आपके नंबर में तो वो ग्रोथ दिख ही नहीं रहा. So that whatever numbers are there need to be backed with a solid story, and that story you might change few stories के point you're not aligned, and then you change the numbers and सब कुछ change हो जाता है, right? I to be honest, I was not sure I understood your question correctly, but so feel free to ask more. I
No, I got it. I got it. It
Yeah,
obviously
so-
needs to be aligned with the current going business, and they should back that future projections with their balance sheets and cash also. So no, I got your point. Thank you very much.
Then there are a couple of questions from Dheeraj. Dheeraj, over to you.
Good afternoon, sir. So my question is, what is the very initial screening process you follow for a product you might invest in? That is before the research, before the accessible market. What do you look for before you start researching?
So one, तो if I already have a top-down view and a company is coming in that view, तो वो already fit हो रहा है, क्योंकि मैंने एक research की हुई है. I build a thesis. That continuing that knee example, if I made that research on the knee replacement, I've already made a view. Less, and that view is negative. And if a knee company is coming and an ortho implant company is coming, I'll say no, I've already done a research. But I think your question is more about कि आपने कुछ top down view बना ही नहीं रखा, and फिर कोई company आई तो क्या करोगे? So this is where some experience comes in, right? Like I might have rejected some very good leads, but you talk and understand then you talk and understand the वही पूरा top down from them. That tell me, founder sir, you know this area better. Tell me the problem you're trying to solve. How big is this problem? Who are the current competitors? How are your solution or service better than those competitors? You ask all that through, and you do this top down using that particular person. And all this conversation, Dheeraj and everyone else, happens over multiple meetings. Even a rejection doesn't happen, like there are very few rejections which happen from outgo कि आप पहली मीटिंग के बाद ही मना कर दो. जनरली 2 मीटिंग सबके साथ होती है, and then you build we are a team of 4 people, we talk among ourselves, we have some disconnects, but 4 में से 3 कह रहे हैं कि आगे जाओ, एक कह रहा है नहीं आगे जाओ, तो आगे जाते हैं. So you ask all these questions जिसके बारे में हमने बात की, and build a thesis. Is this guy worth, is this the right horse to bet on? Is the guy smart enough? Is this guy building a good solution to a problem? Like there's so many, like I order now all my groceries through Blinkit or Dunzo or Swiggy Instamart. I like, मेरे जैसे लोगों के लिए that solution was perfect. But मेरे जैसे कितने और लोग हैं? Some VC must be thinking about it. Maybe my mom would not do that. She will not pay that premium. So we do the same analysis. And with that deep, जब भी होता है when you keep going ahead, but to go no go में 2 meeting enough होती है, 1.5 घंटे की. And because founders are used to giving these pitches, they come up with a complete good story. When you start attending pitches or giving pitches, a lot of you will become entrepreneurs and you have to give pitches. You go with the same thing कि look मैंने ये बनाया है, इतना अच्छा है करंट चीज से, और ये जिस फील्ड में है ये फील्ड इतनी तेजी से करेगी, ग्रो होगी, उस ग्रोथ होने के लिए मुझे ये चीजें चाहिए, ये मेरे ब्रॉड असम्पशन है. तो उनके बेसिस पे आप व्यू बनाते हो, राइट? तो यही काम होता है धीरज. दिस इज द एग्जैक्ट वर्क विच a VC, corporate VC, even any investment role does. Bankers facilitate this conversation.
Thank you, sir. I had a question. So, so you said you guys are more 5 kind of a thing in a portfolio, 5 investments. Typical as compared to a VC, which do have a spray and pray kind of a model. They tend to have a better chance of ending up with a successful investments if you compare the odds as compared to, I guess you guys, in that case, the tail itself is so small, which, because eventually things do boil down to a lot of things which are not in your control. So why not follow a spray and pray instead of having such a concentrated bet, and that too when you are the only LP in the town?
So not everyone has spray and pray. Lot of VCs, like lot of good VCs, जैसे I don't want to name, like lot of sector specific VCs have like 10, 12 ka, because they are completely involved. Those VCs are being run by ex-CEOs of healthcare companies. So not everyone does spray and pray. And those spray and pray are like 2 to 5 million kind of check sizes. 20 million, you can't keep writing 20 million to 100 companies. So small VCs at the early stage do spray and pray, but at when you need growth capital, Series B onward, not hardly people won't do spray and pray. People do this within the thesis they built. They can have 1 max 2 company, not more than that. So we also are growing. Like we have 5 right now. We've been in action for 1.5 to 2 years, but we will also grow to 10, 12 companies. And with a corporate, the thing is ki value addition is not only done by us. Value addition is, if I'm buying something, let's say this knee wala thing, then my ortho team, I have a huge, because we are basically part of a corporate, we have a sales team in this particular thing. Those guys do majority of the value addition. So it's not just key, I can just focus on, we can actually go to 20 and value add everywhere. But agree that on the spray and pray, the ticket size is small, the volume is high. In the selected approach, like the Series B onward VC, where they have 10 to 15, the ticket size is big. but you have done like deep research, you have some idea, 50% of them fail, but whoever will grow, that quantum is big. Your ticket size is 10, $20 million, then uh, the thought process is completely different. The spray and pray, you do very quick deals, but small size deals. And then, as you're saying, right, tail is big, but one will become big. But at a later stage, when you are deep sector focus and you're at the late stage, the thought, both are just fine. They are cases which are in success in both the sides. It's about how deep do you want to go in a company. Spray
Got
and
it, sir.
pray don't get involved in the operations of the company at all. They don't have that expertise. They also are sector agnostic. The focused one are sector focused. They're deeply involved. I know investors who get like weekly MIS every Monday. An MIS come, they are so every like they are board observer seats. Everyone have to manage a portfolio. So on a weekly basis, they go over MIS, ask question. So it depends on what's the philosophy. Both are just completely fine.
Got it. Got it. So I believe we have just last 8 minutes. So we'll stick to just last two questions. I've got a lot of questions here on chat, but I'll have to go with the order of priority here. So I guess the next question was from Darshit. Darshit, over to you.
Yeah, sir. Thank you. Sir, do you make any investment in a firm that has a good technology but lack of revenue visibility? Because a traditional PVC might not would be more interested in the business aspect and future revenue growth, while a corporate VC might more interested in the technology and would focus ki, okay, if I can leverage the technology later on, even though there is lack of revenue visibility.
Yeah, that's a very good question. Very, very good question. But I would not say traditional VCs don't do that, but corporate VCs definitely do that. Two of our portfolio company are pre-revenue. We have just invested in the technology and the founder. We believe in that founder, and we see that the problem that they're trying to solve is good. They're going towards it. So our ticket sizes are small here, but that money which we have put is complete risk capital for that guy to build that, do his R&D, build this technology. And because we are a corporate VC, we can help them give this commercialization help. We have put in an R&D setup, guys who are smart, who can build the technology but can't sell. They might be able to sell, but they don't have the current expertise. We have a commercial infrastructure. We've already sold stuff. That's the main thing which a corporate VC can looks out. That's something which we can't develop. Someone else is developing. Let's put in that money. Let that guy grow. If it reaches certain stage, acquire it. But it's not like traditional VCs don't do that. But we are in a way better situation. Oncology drug. How many VCs will be able to understand that, right? I have an entire R&D with like 500 scientists who's working on it. They can see, oh, yeah, this guy actually has cracked something. Let's put in money. So we can first evaluate them better and then give them that commercialization help, which a VC can't, right? I have Amazon has this entire platform which can be used to sell. A random VC is just a traditional VC, not a traditional VC. It's just financial capital. So yeah, very good point. That's the main motive of a corporate VC.
Thank you so
Understood,
much.
sir.
So the last question, I guess, if time permits, then probably we'll take one more. But as of now, so there's one question from Vinayak. Vinayak, over to you.
Thank you, sir. So, sir, my question is, how do we judge the scalability of a business? Like in the Theranos example, if the promoter is saying it would sell around 10,000 of such devices, so how do we analyze that?
विनायक आपकी क्लास में बैठ के आपके सामने वही किया था, अपन सब वही कर रहे थे. We were trying to gauge the scalability. कितने का है वो मशीन, उस प्राइस पॉइंट पे कितने लोग होंगे, वो कितने फ्रीक्वेंटली कितने डॉक्टर्स को लेंगे, उस डॉक्टर्स उसको किस रेट पे उससे टेस्ट बेच पाएंगे, तो कितने व्हाट्स द पे बैक टाइम, हाउ लॉन्ग विल दैट मशीन लास्ट, उसका कॉस्ट, उसका मेंटेनेंस कॉस्ट कितना होगा. तो these are the, you only have to do it. But that guy can say this will grow 20 50% in the first year, next year में 40%, next year 30%. But you have to do a bottoms up, and no one has seen, no one has a future में देखने का कोई यंत्र. You have to ask the right question and build a thesis around it. So scalability ही जाननी होती है, right? So that's why we were doing that exercise कि आप पहले TAM जानो कि पूरा addressable market ही कितना है, and will that market grow or not. इस मार्केट के अंदर जब आपकी कंपनी आएगी, वो कितना मार्केट शेयर ले सकती है. अगर 100 रुपए का मार्केट है, ग्रोइंग बीइंग स्टेबल, तो आपकी कंपनी अगर 20% मार्केट ले रही है तो बस वो 20 ही रहेगा ना उसका भी. लेकिन जैसे मार्केट स्टेबल है, लेकिन पहले सोल्यूशन इतना अच्छा है कि फर्स्ट ईयर में 20% ले लिया, फिर 30% ले लिया, 40% ले लिया, तो यू कीप टेकिंग मार्केट शेयर फ्रॉम अदर्स. इट्स वेरी वेरी डिफिकल्ट. देन अदरवाइज तो मार्केट शेयर भी बढ़ता रहेगा और तुम्हारा टैम भी बढ़ रहा है. So in this case, this particular machine was taking away business from traditional pathology labs. Correct? जो भी आपके घर के आसपास कितने सारे कलेक्शन सेंटर होंगे, आप वहां जाना बंद कर दोगे. तो यू फर्स्ट सी कि पहले पैथोलॉजी मार्केट कितना बढ़ रहा है और इसका एड्रेसेबल मार्केट कितना है. पैथोलॉजी में बहुत सारी चीज आती है. दिस पर्टिकुलर मशीन इज एबल टू डू ओनली इन्फेक्शन वाला. तो इन्फेक्शन का मार्केट कितना है, वो कैसे ग्रो करेगा. फिर रियलिस्टिकली कितना मार्केट शेयर ले सकते हैं. ऐसा तो नहीं होगा ना आते ही पूरा का पूरा 100% चले जाएगा. बिहेवियरल चेंज हैपेंस ओवर. पहले शायद केवल 10 डॉक्टर खरीदे, फिर ग्रेजुअली स्लोली पीपल विल एक्सेप्ट इट. So you take all these assumptions, jot them down properly in an Excel, and then build a business case, and you can keep tweaking it. And जो भी आपके assumption है, that is actually your input. And वो आप क्या questions उनसे पूछते हो, क्या आपकी primary research है, उसके basis पे आप thesis बनाते हो. Sustainability कितना grow करेगा, that's the main thing जिसके लिए पैसे मिल रहे हैं.
Right, sir. Right.
Thank you so much, Prateek, sir. Just one last question from Institute side. So these guys are probably in the vicinity of 19, 20-year-olds. So a career advice which you'd like to share with these candidates from your own career and experiences. And second, any reading material which you would recommend for these young candidates to go through.
Reading material, I feel there are books which I can definitely recommend, and will pass that list to you, Shailesh. But I feel कि in any investment kind of role, in any strategy role, you need to know what's happening in the market. Like macro view अच्छा होना चाहिए. So if you're not reading like daily a good newspaper, a good जैसे I have this Times of India, Economic Times का Prime subscription, and Morning Context. They're two, I don't want to name again, you're recording this, but I've named it. So I have Morning Context, which gives me some startup news, and Economics Times का Prime, which gives me like broad macro view क्या हो रहा है. So obviously you need to become a sector expert, so उसकी पढ़ना. लेकिन अगर macro view ही पता नहीं होगा ना, I think it's a very big. आपको देश दुनिया में क्या चल रहा है वो पता होना चाहिए. Like वहाँ इजराइल में वॉर हो रहा है, आपको पता ही नहीं है उसका ऑयल पे क्या इम्पैक्ट. मतलब yeah, I would highly recommend it. If you're not doing it, you're doing a disfavor to your education itself. Like all this DCF comparable सब कुछ चलता रहेगा, but having a good macro view. I love LiveMint, I love ET. Both are very ET का मेरे पास digital version है, LiveMint मेरे पास newspaper form में आता है. To be honest, I read more ET only, but whenever I get time घर पे I read LiveMint. So absolutely important for any person to have a good macro view. तो smart उसी से बनते हैं. And advice which I like to give to, and which I have been part of 2-3 institutes, and I realize that what has really helped me is like building a connect among ourselves, and learning from each other's mistake and growing together. So build a good network. Like Shreya should talk to Swati should talk to Jinal. Everyone should like keep talking to each other. Like build a good connect, help each other out. It's not a zero-sum game, right? ये वाला thought process दिमाग से हटा ही देना कि if someone else win, I loses. This is the worst stupid mistakes that you will ever do. It's not a zero-sum game. You win, I win, everyone wins. So keep helping each other. build a solid network. Having a good network is the most important thing you'll have. All these jobs and all happens via good connect, good network. And you're like 75 smart people out here. Keep helping each other. Build a good. And Shailesh was telling me there's an alumni network as well. So this network only helps. So keep building that network and try to help as much as you can. This is me giving to few kids. Some of you will help me in my life. Some I'll try to help you. So keep giving. It's not a zero-sum game. Someone else winning does not make me a loser. Right? 0-1 nahi hai. That's the most important thing. And read newspaper every day.
Thank you so much, Prateek sir. Thanks for your valuable time. It was first of a kind of a VC session which we had, explaining the differences between a typical corporate VC and venture capital fund. We would be uploading this recording as well on our channel. Thank you so much for your time and taking your time on a Saturday.
It was a brilliant.
Where I
Thank you so
personally
much,
know you,
Shailesh.
where I personally know you have a very tight schedule. So we genuinely appreciate the opportunity for our students to interact with you, sir.
And thank you so much, Shailesh, for inviting me. I also loved it. Very smart bunch of people you have. I wanted to make this interactive and thought interactive. All the inputs you guys gave on the point. So you guys have a bright future, persistent raho, mehnat karte raho. And yeah, thank you. And if I can help in future, please reach out.
Thank you. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Sir.
Thank you so much. Have a good day. Bye.
Bye, sir.